Just got to Sebastian Inlet State Park. It's pretty awesome. State Park looks like it's on both sides. Campgrounds on the south side of the water inlet, but super fast current ripping through here. Looks cool. Lots of people over here playing on the water. I think there's going to be a few options to be able to hang out on the beaches. It's pretty neat. Looking forward to it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you joining. Just got back from our few days over at Sebastian Inlet State Park. This park sits on Florida's famous Treasure Coast, all because of a massive 1715 hurricane that wrecked Spanish treasure fleet carrying gold, silver, and jewels from the New World. Survivors camped right here on the beach. Now it's a National Register of Historic Places site, so pretty cool history here. They did have a couple museums. We didn't get a chance to go see them based on our schedule and hopping around, but they have an artifacts museum and the fishing museum that are free of cost. And evidently this is a pretty popular fishing place. They have advertised best fishing in Florida with the north and south jetties. A lot of different things going on. They have a sea turtle nesting hotspot too. I read loggerheads every summer come here, and I think they do some ranger night walks different times of the season if you're interested. Bird watchers, this is part of the Great Florida Birding Trail as well. A lot of these parks that we've been to have been. They have pretty safe kid swimming, I would say. They have this area called the Robert Campbell Cove tidal pool. It's got calm water right off the inlet there. Tons of fish and crabs, and there was a little bit of everything kind of floating around. Manatees, I think we saw some sea creatures. There's birds hanging out. We went there the first night. Well, I'll talk about that here in a minute, but we were able to get there the first night we showed up. And then this park's actually open 24 hours. It's the only Florida state park that never closes on the ones, I think, the south side, or I'm sorry, the north side of the inlet. And you know, you can be there for sunrise or sunset and stargazing and all that good stuff, I guess. But a little bit about the campground, some of the basics. There are 51 sites total. They have water, and I can't remember, we were 30 amp or 50 amp there. I might have it coming up here shortly. I'll put it in if I do. Of course, you get a picnic table, fire ring. They did have a laundry and shower area, and there's a dump station for your way out, as there's no sewer hookups with at least our sites. I don't think they had any at all, to be honest with you. But neat place. Well, I should back up a little bit. Probably part of the basics of this campground as well is they have pet-friendly areas. Your dogs are allowed, of course, but they're not allowed at the beach. I did think that they had an RV max length of 40 feet. Some of the sites were a little tighter than others, especially with the growth. They had, I don't know if this one's a little popular too, so I'd say book early, because I think you can book this one out. Some states don't let you book out more than 6 months, but I believe this is another one, Florida, that allows you to book out 11 months in advance. And pro tip, if you're coming here, bring bug spray. The sand gnats, or what they call the no-see-ums down here, were terrible. They were very aggressive and way more than any other park we had been to. But so our adventure coming here to Sebastian, we came down to A1A. It was really cool scenic drive. I think the truck GPS a lot of times wants to route us inland to some higher speed roads to get there a few minutes sooner. But we chose the better scenery, and I'm glad we did. It's a whole different experience if you can stay out on the coast coming down. If you have the time, I recommend it. And the park, as I mentioned, is on both sides of the inlet. So the campground entrance is on the south side. You just come over this bridge, and then to the right, you'll turn into the campground itself. I mentioned we went over to the Cove tidal pool on the south side of the park. So we went there the very first night we arrived, because the forecast, we expected some really cold weather for Florida coming through the next few nights, and I didn't assume we'd be playing in water much, or at least it wouldn't be as enjoyable. But we saw some birds right there. A wood stork, if you recall the Jetty Park wood stork hanging out. We saw a lot more of those here at this park as well. But there was more wildlife to come for sure over here at this Cove tidal pool. I'm pretty sure we saw a gator. So my wife and I were sitting there, and I presumed this was a log. I didn't look at it too close because of the sun setting. It was a little hard to see down into the water, but it was kind of moving a little weird. And then my wife said, are you sure that's a log? And then it disappeared. It went underwater. So I unfortunately didn't get it on video, but I'm pretty sure it was a gator. Hopefully a small one hanging out in the tidal pool, but you know, keep an eye, look out for that. We did see some other stuff. That tidal pool is just, because the inlet's such a fast current that I think a lot of animals want to get into that tidal pool, or maybe smaller animals to get away from the current. But we saw, I think, a little small suckerfish, a couple small crabs running around, and then my wife found a huge crab. Biggest one we've ever seen up close in the wild, I would say. Tried to catch it, or at least try to get a better shot of it by holding it out of the water, but he was feisty. I couldn't get him out of there, but I did my best. He was hiding in there.
Oh my God!
What is it?
It's as big as my head.
Oh, he's fast. Oh, he got it. Oh, he's got it. Yeah, I want to get him out so I can get a video. Yeah. All right. And of course, lizards everywhere, right? You're going to have that here in Florida. And manatees. We saw some manatees, a few of them. Sometimes they're hard to see with the angle of the light of the sun. And then they would pop their nose up and blow some air, and, you know, bubbles would come up, and you can kind of keep an eye on them. But they were hanging around the shoreline quite a bit. And then we did see dolphins. My wife and I, are 2 different times when we were around the beaches or walking Lily, we saw a few sets of dolphins just kind of hanging out over off the coast there, and almost like they're just playing around. They weren't really traveling away, it didn't seem like. And then obviously they have some feisty raccoons. So the first night we get there, we come out to the truck, and there's serious paw prints all over the truck, up the side of the truck, up on the fender, down the tonneau cover. They attempted to get in the bed of the truck. I mean, we don't keep any food in there, and nothing in there would smell like food, so I'm not sure if they're just used to going through truck beds, but I don't think they necessarily climbed on the truck the other nights, but I caught them on the security cameras every night coming around checking our camper to see if there's any food. Don't leave anything outside, don't leave any garbage, because they would have found it and gone through it, I'm sure. But I mentioned the fishing. So the fishing pier was not huge, but it was always busy, and it was on the inlet side. Cold weather and all, people were there fishing in coats, and I don't know if they're fishing for dinner or for a living or what, but it was really busy. Some of the people there for what appeared to be multiple days in a row. Not just campers, I mean, but people coming and going multiple days, like they were trying to get their fill, I guess. We did see a guy snorkeling right near shore. Guy snorkeling. Maybe he's looking for treasure.
I thought that was like the phone to put it today.
A lot of fishing going on. Yeah, I thought it was like a little sea otter.
I thought they were birds.
He might be hunting for a certain creature. He's got that flag behind him floating so he doesn't get ran over by a boat or something. And then, yeah, we did see a couple of iguanas sunbathing when it was warmer. There was those few days that was cold, or a couple of days when we were there, it was really cold, that they were all hiding somewhere. But on the warm days, they were out sunbathing, pretty good size. And as far as the campsite, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, we paid $35 per night. And electric and water, I just can't recall if it was 50 or 30. It might have been 50. So pretty consistent price for Florida state parks for 35 bucks. I mentioned that, or at least I think I might have shown that they had a mix between the sand and gravel, fire pit and picnic table. We just didn't spend a lot of time outside by the woods or in that gravel area, because that's where the sand nets seemed to be the worst. It was an okay size. We did have some low-hanging trees up top. You got to be careful, you know, when you're backing into a site, that you don't dig into your roof or our solar panels, for example, air conditioning units. Some people carry a saw and they'll get out, start trimming trees. You hope the parks will take care of it, but sometimes things get missed or just not kept up with. So that's something to keep an eye on. Even if the site looks big enough, you might be getting into some branches. But yeah, sand gnats, terrible. No-see-ums were everywhere. You couldn't see them, but they were everywhere. And we had unfortunately, those types of places, you can't hang out in the patio as much as you might want to, I guess, unless you were just head to toe covered and closed. But it was windy for a few days with the cold snap that came through. And there were some windsurfers out there braving the colder temps. I guess a whole club or a whole group of them were there. It was super windy that day. And I mean, I guess you need wind if you're windsurfing. But they had this little bit, it wasn't like hooked to the board. They were actually holding a free, almost looked like an inflatable kite in their arms. And then they were on, I think they're called hydrofoil boards, if I'm saying that right, but special boards that would raise them up out of the water. But it was pretty cool. I didn't want to do it, but it was cool to see them. I mentioned a little bit about the facility. So they had shower house, laundry, and bathroom. It was okay. I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the best we've seen, but the laundry in the Florida state parks is just limited or lacking, in my opinion, compared to other states. They usually only have one washer and one dryer per building, and then sometimes they only have one building. But they're outside, they're never covered, and some of them, they're pretty gross, just for being exposed and left open, and the bugs and whatever else is getting in there. These were pretty run down. We chose not to do laundry there, unfortunately. And maybe every Florida state park's like that, but Florida's great, but I think they need to do a little bit different for the people on the road with the laundry. But they did have, I think I got some video, super active pelicans just before sunset. And I'm assuming they maybe were fishing or, but they would dive bomb the water. And there was a big group of them, and they just kept doing it over and over. My son was laughing. Pretty fun. But overall, I think it's a pretty cool assortment of wildlife, especially over in the tidal pool. The no-see-ums were terrible, and I don't think that's just a when we were there problem. It sounds like it's a problem all year round, so plan accordingly. But they prevent you from enjoying the outside area, at least in my opinion. Park wasn't super groomed either. It's good for a few days stop. It's not the, it had some cool things going on, but I don't know how much maintenance and things are thrown into it during, between campers. But, it's cool to check out, especially if you're fishing, and they had a boat ramp there if you want to get in the water and that access. We obviously are towing a travel trailer, so we're not bringing any extra toys to take advantage of that stuff. But up next, we head over to Dickinson State Park, just outside Jupiter, Florida. Nice place, really cool bike riding here. Huge state park. So I'm looking forward to getting that one together, and I'm working on it as fast as I can. If you're still with me on this one, I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.